Hey, it's Craig Tomlin with Useful Usability, and I want to introduce you to Chris and Mariana. They are the founders of Usabilime, which is a very cool new tool allowing UX research to be done on a remote moderated basis. And I wanted to get right into the interview here. It's a pretty exciting opportunity, I think, to learn a little bit more from some very entrepreneurial folks who are doing a lot of cool things with UX research. So let's just get right into it. So, my first question is, what's your background? Where'd you go to school and what subjects interested you?
Chris and I both received our masters in human-computer interaction. I went to Carnegie Mellon, and Chris went to Texas Tech University.
Yeah, so in terms of subjects that interest me, obviously getting a degree in human factors and human computer interaction really led me to have a desire to deeply understand humans and the behaviors that they go through and the tasks they're involved in and how we can design better products for them. So that psychology component was a huge portion of the work I did in grad school, and so I think that's a big influencer on the work that I do today.
Awesome. So talk to me a little bit about how did you get into the UX field?
I initially studied computer science, but as I was studying and in my first job, I felt that requirements and in general, the process of creating software was completely missing the human component. I knew there had to be a better way, so I started to research programs, and I found the Masters in HCI from Carnegie Mellon, and it was the right fit for me. After that, I've kept going as a UX designer and as a UX researcher, and it's just been really motivating to find that users are at the center and that you can create software that really makes lives better.
So I pretty much knew from the time that I joined my program at Texas Tech that I'd wanted to get into industry and to help build better products. So I may not have known exactly what that meant at the time, but everything I did in college and through my internship and everything like that led me to user research as a profession. So from there, I spent time in various places, from agencies to being the only researcher in the company, to being one of 12 researchers on a team. And so quite a bit of variety, but all really centered around that idea of understanding customers and doing user experience research.
Very interesting. So what is it about UX that you find rewarding or interesting?
I really love being able to interview users, find out what they do, how they work, what their tasks are, and finding pain points and turning them into opportunities, knowing that in the long run we are creating better experiences and enabling users to accomplish their goals.
I agree wholeheartedly with what Mariana's saying. I think for me, it boils down to being a change agent in one way or another. And what that means for me is, helping to make changes to a product or service to make it a delightful experience, or even making changes internally at your own company to sort of move the culture from being really inward-looking and business-centric to helping them move to being more outward-thinking and customer-centric. I really think that's an important part of what's important to me about UX.
So you're the founders of Usability. What was the reason for creating Usability, and what sort of problems was it designed to help solve?
Usability is a tool for performing moderated remote user research. We essentially built a tool for what we do and the pain points that we were experiencing. Remote moderated research used to be painful. Getting participants on board was hard. Making sure that the recording was working took a really long portion of the interview time, and then afterwards, making sure that you capture the insights, exporting them into presentations, video clippings. That was always hard. So we decided to create a tool for that. But of course, we're UX researchers and we drink our Kool-Aid. So we also went out and validated our ideas, and we found that a lot of people had the same problems that we did. And in beta, we learned a lot about our users, and we're continuing to do so, and we're always making improvements to our tool.
How does Usability help your customers? What problems does it solve?
So usability is really about helping researchers of any kind, whether they're UX researchers or startup founders or designers, things like that, to connect with their study participants, their research participants, to share their insights that they learn from those sessions with their team, either in the moment through live collaborative note-taking with their observers, or after the interviews are over by quickly letting them create clips and share those clips in a powerful way. And we keep those notes that I mentioned organized as you're um, performing those sessions, and let you export those so that you can do your post-interview analysis.
So there's quite a few UX research tools out there. What is it about Usability that makes it different and special?
So what makes Usability unique is that we focus only on remote moderated research. So from a big spectrum of things that you could do regarding UX research, we found one that we were good at and we focus on that. So we make a really simple workflow. We make sure all you need to complete that task has been designed for and works like you would expect. So we make sure that you're able to connect with your participants, whether it is meeting them online or sharing a link with them. We make sure that getting on a call is easy. So sharing video and audio doesn't require any installs. And then we also allow you to do screen share. Documenting the interview should also be easy. So being able to record, adding notes, inviting other people to view what you're investigating. So having observers is a very important part of your investigation. So we make sure that that is also covered. Sharing and exporting clips is like the end part of what you've done and all the research and all your hard work. So we also make sure that that works. So we focus on getting the experience right. Just something as like a side note or a little anecdote. I've gotten so used to the note-taking functionality and the clipping functionality that I sometimes open up my computer and use Usability even for in-person interviews.
Who might benefit most from using Usability, and who's your most common customer?
So I mentioned this before, but really we are focused on anyone who wants to learn from their customers. And that may be startup founders who are really interested in validating the product market fit for their tool or their product. It could be designers who want to validate their ideas or learn a little bit more about how their customers do things today. It could be dedicated UX researchers like myself who are really focused on that job and really understanding their customers and how they can build better products for them. Or even market researchers who may want to learn a little bit about what customers are doing in the market, how they stack up against their competitors, how they're solving those problems today. But really for anyone who is interested in learning from their customers, we give them a structured way to capture that information and share it with their teams.
So what's coming in the near future for Usability? What's your roadmap look like in the next 6 months or so?
So Mariana mentioned earlier that we are always talking to customers, we're always learning from our customers, and that's really important to our roadmap as well. So some of the things we've learned in our early beta phases and as we've launched are that we have opportunities to create new experiences that can help to conduct research in a meaningful way. So some of those things may be human transcription, and maybe even some automated transcription of the notes that you're taking as you're taking them. We're looking into the idea of allowing our researchers to pass remote control abilities over to the participants, so that if you're showing a prototype, for example, you can give control of your keyboard and mouse so that you don't have to share any of that prototype information with them. You don't have to send them a prototype. You can actually let them control it on your computer. And we're also very aware that mobile is important, both from using Usability as well as from being able to test mobile prototypes and mobile apps and things like that. So we're looking at creating the ability to use Usability from mobile devices, but also the ability to use Usability to test mobile apps and things as well.
So I totally agree with Chris on the very exciting changes that are coming for Usability. Plus, we also have a very talented dev team that gets great things done. So please expect great things from us. And we're always changing, we're always innovating. So even though Chris mentioned your roadmap, feedback always trumps that. So it may change.
So for each of you, looking farther out, what do you think the next year or two will bring in terms of UX and UX research? Do you see any big changes coming on the horizon?
So I personally think UX teams have made a lot of strides over the past few years at getting better working within agile and lean teams. But I can speak from experience in the companies that I've worked for recently. There's still quite a long ways to go. I really look forward to seeing what the future brings for having research be a bigger part of agile workflows and seeing how the design process changes as we really integrate ourselves well with those teams.
Chris, what you say is interesting. I definitely agree that UX belongs in agile thinking. However, on the bigger picture, thinking about computer and UX in general, I think it's getting challenging when we talk about multimodal interactions, and therefore very interesting the research that we're going to be doing around those multimodal interactions, as well as the great amount of possibilities that we have to interact with computers is ever changing. So computers are becoming more and more ubiquitous, meaning experiences need to be better, seamless, and more fully thought out. So I'm very excited about what that will bring to the design field and to the research field, and what that means for us as designers and researchers.
What about each of you? What's something coming up in the horizon for you? What's the next couple of years hold in store?
So for me, I consider myself to be part of the maker movement, really looking at different ways to help create things and allow access to tools like 3D printers and CNC machines and things like that to people who normally wouldn't have access to them. So really interested in sort of getting into the world of education and trying to help education providers understand how they can bring tools like that in and let people sort of express their creativity through these sorts of making tools. I think that's going to be a big part of the way that education changes over the next few years.
So I recently became a mom. My daughter is 9 months old. So I've been taking care of Abby and of Usability, my two babies. So really in the next years, I'm probably going to be focusing on making them both grow healthy and continue to, create great products like this one, and just in general, also spend time with my baby, which I'm really excited about.
Well, I wanted to thank you, Chris, and you, Mariana, for taking the time today to meet with us. Very interesting, and wish you a lot of luck with Usability. Definitely sounds like a great tool worth checking out.